Hey there, and welcome back to the Random Review channel. So today's review is this here, a little Hubsan Q4 micro drone, 2.4 RC series 4 channel. This one here has a sort of branding Red 5. This is the world's smallest 4 channel quadcopter, self-stabilizing and highly maneuverable. Beginner, that's a bit ropey. Intermediate and advanced flying modes. Tough and durable build quality, that's a bit disputable also. 2.4 gigahertz transmitter for long range, not really. Flies multiple quads simultaneously in the same airspace. 5-minute flight time, that's a bit of a stretch also. But anyway, so now this isn't a new product. I've been flying this here now for a little while and enjoying it very much until about 2 days ago. So inside the box, basically we get a spare set of propellers, but this is basically what we get. We get the little miniature quad, we get a little USB charging cable, and we get the controller, and we get an instruction manual, which is actually quite good. So as I said before, this is a Hubsan. Now this little drone is sold under a multitude of different brands. Cool RC, JJRC I think do one that's pretty much the same. They're all pretty much out of the same factory, just rebranded, but the main one that you would sort of see, or the one that you would see most of the reviews on, is Hubsan, sorry. So in this here little manual, it gives you how to charge it, it gives you how to calibrate it, it gives you the transmitter functions, some safety instructions, and basic sort of flight instructions. Okay, so they're pretty good. This here, by the way, is also known as an H111, and it says 14 plus as they all do. So anyway, we'll forget about that. This here, there's no external battery that you can take off. The battery's soldered onto the board in these here. So this here little charger slides onto the back, and there's a little fin on it which aligns to the sort of T shape on that. So it'll only go on one way to keep the positive and negative the same, or correct, sorry. You plug that in, and it charges it up, and then switches red, I believe. Well, mine did, this one did, but this isn't the original cable. This one here doesn't, but I think the original one out of the box glows red when it's charged. So yes, that there is the USB charger. Okay, so it's a little single cell battery. It's a 3.7 3.7 volt, 100 milliamp hour battery, one cell battery, obviously. So that's it. You know, it's absolutely tiny. The controller is very similar to, it's the same sort of form factor as quite a lot of the sort of micro drones. For instance, this one here is one from an E-Sheen E010 controller, so you can see they're pretty similar in terms of the layout of the buttons, except this one here is, probably because the quad's smaller, this here is smaller. It doesn't have the buttons on the top, and it's just more of a shrunk down sort of form, and we don't get any sort of trim functions here. It's not really trim, but anyway. Okay, so into the back then, it takes two AAA batteries. These are energizers, but you can put whatever you want in there. The controller, okay, so we get a little set of trusty cheapo scales, which are pretty accurate, surprisingly. Okay. The weight of this here is of no relevance to anyone, I wouldn't imagine. So the weight of this here with the props on and the battery installed, the stock battery installed, because you can upgrade them batteries, is 11.74 grams. Okay, so it's pretty light. To give you an indication, although this one here is 21 grams. Okay, so much lighter than pretty much any other little drone on the market. You can take the canopy off and fly it without the canopy if you really wanted to save sort of a bit more in terms of weight, if you're concerned about that. Okay, so the little standard props that come with it just pull straight off the shaft. Okay, they're quite a tight fit, but you push them all the way down and they do grip. They're pretty good, actually. They're pretty good little props out of the box. You can get different props this here, slightly better props, but to be honest, they're negligible. I've seen 4-bladed props for it, which probably reduce the efficiency of them. That's why they ship it with 2. The props are numbered, numbered and lettered, but really the letters correspond to the little letters on the legs, so you know where to put each prop so you don't be putting them on backwards and the thing wants to flip over and sort of things like that there. So anyway, to switch it on, there's a little toggle switch in the bottom. So we switch that on and it glows red and starts flashing. Then we turn on the controller and up and down turns on the controller. Now I should state that I had a little biff for this here yesterday, and one of the motors isn't working, so I can't actually show you it flying. You can see which one very simply it is, because it doesn't start up as quickly as it should. Okay, so I had a look at it, I had a mess about, but to be quite honest, once they go, they go. You can buy these little motors, they're cheap as chips. I actually bought a slightly upgraded one from Banggood. The solder onto the board directly, so that's the only sort of the dodgy bit about these here, is that the solder onto the board directly. So if they do go, you would need to have a soldering iron and be sort of semi-proficient at soldering. There's not a lot of beef on some of these legs, so you just need to be careful. Okay, so great little quad to fly. Is it a beginner quad? It's not easy to control. Once it's off the ground, it's quite sort of jittery. Even with the trim, you can trim it out a bit, but just because of the distance between the props, it is it is sort of hard to control. Even the difference between that one and the likes of this here, an Eachine E010, which isn't that much bigger. Stability wise and controllability wise, this is a lot easier to control. However, it's just class. It's so small. It's just really, it is fun to fly. You're never going to have the sort of power to fly it with like an FPV camera or anything like that there, but it's just really fun to blip about the house in and try and get it through as tight a space as you can. It's very durable, even though these legs are very fine, just because there isn't a lot of weight on it. So I would really recommend this here. To start with, if you're looking for something that you can maybe pop an FPV camera onto, this here, something like this here, or the Tiny Whip. This here is basically a Tiny Whip clone. It's a lot cheaper. Yeah, this here is just great fun to fly. You'll get a few minutes out of the battery if you're lucky, and the problem with these is that you can't just swap the batteries out. Once the battery's done, you have to charge it every time, whereas the likes of this here has removable batteries. You can buy 5 or 10 of them and you can be flying all day. But yeah, pretty good little product. Fun to fly, and possibly for intermediate flyers, maybe not beginner flyers, but fun nonetheless. So thanks for watching.